In the last bull run, I hit a massive achievement for me of a 950k portfolio from pretty much 3 investments. But the problem was there was massive pitfalls. In this video, I'm going to try and educate you so you don't have to go through the pain of riding up this bull run and then losing it all because of 7 key lessons that I'll give you today. Because, like I said, I lost every single penny of it pretty much. And that was just by a couple of few reasons, by getting the hard stuff right, by going and making the money, putting it in the market. But the problem was greed, fear, anxiety took over, and I lost it all, and a couple of other things that I'll break down. So I really hope somewhat I can be vulnerable here, because a lot of people will not tell you. A lot of people just like to say, I made all this money and I cashed it out and I bought, a Patek watch at about 150k USD. A lot of people like to say that. But I'll tell you all the lessons I learned so you can go into this next bull run and you don't have to wait the 4 years, because the money's great, right? The watches are great, the lifestyle's great. But the problem was I wasted 4 years of my life now back in 2024 just to get some of these coins at break-even mark. Some of them are in profit, some of them are still a little bit behind. And the problem was the massive losses will make you go blind. And I'm going to break that down in a super simple way. So if you guys don't know, if you're brand new, I'm Jake. For those of you who don't know me, I'm just a regular guy that somewhat got rich in econ, and I've transitioned now into full-time crypto. So here was me, 9 to 5. I used to work at a company called Exercise for Less, which was like a gym in Glasgow. This was in East Kilbride. Now that gym doesn't even exist. JD bought them over, and pretty much all the guys that were saying I was being too risky being in this econ game, they all lost their jobs, and God knows what they're doing right now. So here was me, slaving away in my shitty flat, hating life. And you might be there right now. That's probably why you got in cryptocurrency, to get rid of this. And here was my first success with econ. I used to drive a Vauxhall Corsa 1.2. I think everybody in the UK around about 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 had pretty much this car as their first car. It's almost like a meme now. And I transitioned this. Here was my Ford Mustang GT, 5 litre, not that 2.3 EcoSport that a lot of people like to get in this car. This was a 5 litre, very fast. And I spent literally every single penny on this Mustang. I just wanted to give some proof of concept to myself, and that I was all in. So here was me pretty much in 2020. I made a video. This video was actually recorded before that, but this is when I started to make videos about drop shipping. And you can see here, I was making a fuck ton of money every single month, about 73k, let alone the other stores. That's about 100k USD. You can see this store that I ran, it was called Tastitch. It hit 235k in revenue, give or take about 30 to 40% profit margins, with all the returns, the customer service, the ad cost, all that kind of stuff. And I made fuck tons of money before I began to scale. And now I've transitioned into cryptocurrency. And here was the problem. I was banned in 2020, so I made this video July 28th, 2020. And I was really using this cash to go in my next venture, because I could make active income, but I wanted more passive income with investments, because all of this money that I was making was just sitting in my bank account. I thought I would go down the real estate way. I bought pretty much another house that would be a rental property, but I didn't really like the game of that, so I was really stuck with what to do with this money. And you might be riding the same game right now. Maybe you have some money, maybe you want to go in real estate, or maybe you're just using cryptocurrency to get out of this shit. You all have different goals. That's just kind of my introduction. So I was buying BTC sub 20k, I was buying a few Bitcoin, 17 or so grand up to about 90k. I was buying Ethereum around about the 400 bucks. You can see on the chart here. And I did a Gala Games trade with a 10x on this coin right now, which I still like and I still believe in, but that was where kind of it started. But it came from massive action in here. Now again, you can just do this with the daily job that you're in, and you can skip these phases, and I'll talk about that. But it's way better if you have a huge income, because you can be reckless. But even that, I still lost all the money, so that's the important part of this video. I was making fuck tons of money, still am making fuck tons of money, but I lost it all. And if I didn't understand the lessons and the pains of the last bull run, I'd probably be in the same situation right now. I'd be just buying random shit, hoping it to go to millions and millions of dollars without any profit-taking strategy. So that's kind of my introduction. Hopefully you guys fuck with that. If you don't, go and watch another YouTuber that'll just tell you he made $1 million and he'll never tell you the losses. So again, I lost it all. I read this all the way up. This is just an example in Bitcoin. Altcoins pretty much follow the same chart. And I read it all the way down. The key pitfalls was, brother, is I didn't sell. I didn't sell when I was supposed to sell at profit-taking strategies, but I didn't realize the losses round about here. I didn't go, oh, crypto's a scam, etc. I could have done that and sold at about break even for most of my coins, or a little bit in the red. But I now understood what was happening in the market with bear and bull cycles. So right now I'm massively in profit again on just those Bitcoin positions. On the Ethereum positions, I'm up about a 3x or 4x since I was buying, because I sold and took profits. I lost some money in Celsius. You guys all know how that went. So the first piece of advice I can give you if you're brand new in cryptocurrency, and everybody always says this, but it's the most important part of the game, doesn't matter what coin you buy, it's understanding those exit strategies for your goals to not hold this all the way down. Because I'll tell you something, cryptocurrency right now, it's kind of medium, it's kind of lackluster. We did have a huge pump, and a lot of people were getting FOMO, were getting excited. But this little dip we've had, people are already selling, they're already saying, it's too late, cryptocurrency had its peak, it's game over. So for me, Ethereum, I'll just give you an example. There was no plan. Siri, go away.
I can't really say.
Siri, go away. There was no plan, and I was just going to hodl this till 10k, right? I was just buying Ethereum at 400, 500, some at $300, and I was like, yeah, I'll just hold this to 10k because somebody on the internet said it has to go to 10k, and I'll just take 100% all at 10k. And it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all. Again, I already made a 10x on Ethereum, a big cap, one of the second, it's pretty much the top altcoin. It is the top altcoin, bar from obviously Bitcoin that's not an altcoin. And I was crazy. We got about, I think, 4.9k, and I was just like, okay, well, I've already 10x'd. I can just do an easy 2x. I've already 10x a 2x, and I read this all the way down. So the most important part was, for me in the first lesson, was just understanding what my goals were for this cryptocurrency bull run in 2021. And I didn't have a goal, because even if I skiffed the $1 million, like I said, I got to 950k, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have held it to 2 million, to 3 million, to 4 million, to 5 million, to 10 million. I would have still read it all the way down, because this little thing up here, this little emotional brain that we all have, even men, especially females, you need to be able to control it, especially when money is involved. If you've never had substantial wealth, and you might be sitting on your cryptocurrency portfolio right now and you might be massively in profit, just say, hey, have we done okay here? Can we roll this into other coins? Can we take some profits? If you're not in profits yet, okay, just keep in the game, understanding the altcoins you're in, but you do not want to be riding this down, because you're just letting greed and fear take over. So here's where I'm at right now. This is a small bag I share on the channel. I've got a huge bag. I've got some bags in, a very small portfolio as well, and liquidity pools, etc. But most of my bag is in a hardware wallet. This is the kind of portfolio that I share on the channel every now and again. And it's not the biggest bag, but the main goal with this is, I think it's about 13 or 14k right now. And the main goal for this is just to turn it into 100k, just to show you guys what's possible. And I was doing that for a challenge. So you can see my average buys right now. For example, Ethereum, my average buy is 1.8k. HBAR, my average buy is 0.7. So they're pretty much all nicely in profits. Again, there's no massive amounts of value here, but it was just to document a kind of challenge where I would start as a small investor. Now the difference is, whether you're a big investor, small investor, or medium investor, it doesn't really matter. If you don't have exit strategies for these plays, example, I've got a 20% layering out numbers. Again, if I played this in the last run, like 20% out here, 20% out here, 20% out here, and then I could even leave the last 40% and I could ride it all the way down to fucking nothing, but I would have still made massive amounts of money. Have a moon bag, leave 20% in, but get at least 60 to 80% out, and that just comes down to your goals for this next cryptocurrency bull run. So again, the goal for this bag is to get 10k to 100k, and I think I can do that quite easily, even with scaling out profits very fast. And if I didn't have them, what I would do, even in this portfolio, is it would be the same rinse and repeat. Ride it all the way up, don't take profits, and then ride them all the way back down. Because I'll tell you something, again, greed is such a rare thing. It's so real in this cryptocurrency market. So what you can do, if you want to skip the ECON stage and you don't want to start some sort of a business, I would really encourage you guys to think about that, of course, because what are you going to go after in this bull run? Where are you going to put the profits? Are you going to just, you can't live forever, so have some sort of income. But I would just say keep grinding. Do what I was doing, but just skip the ECON phase. So just do this. If you have a high paying job, the problem with this is it wasn't a high paying job. I was making about 2k to 2.5k in good months with sales commissions, but that's what it was costing me to pretty much live, with rent, with food, with everything else, a couple of nights. So I was pretty much break even. And that's the problem with the 9 to 5 job. If you're living paycheck to paycheck and you have high bills, is you can't really do damage, because where's the money going to go into cryptocurrency? But if you're making a high income and you're saving 1k to 2k per month and you're funneling that back in cryptocurrency, you can somewhat skip this stage. You're not going to do massive amounts of volume, you're not going to do massive amounts of gains if you buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, but that's why you're playing maybe some of the smaller caps, pre-sales that we like to talk about now again. That's probably what you're playing with. So lower cap gems, etc., etc. Because you need to find the next Solanas, the next renders, the next Rollbit if you pretty much have $500 to $1,000. Because I used to be one of those guys that was telling you guys that this is going to 100x, this is going to 100x, this is going to 100x. The kicker is these coins have already pretty much done 100x, right? We were talking about render at 50 cents. I don't know where it's at right now, probably $7, $8. It went up to $12. It can still hit $45 to $50 probably, but that's only about an 8x off right now. And if you're just putting in $1,000 here and there, you'll do well, but you're not going to be able to quit your job. So that's why you have to go down lower cap gems, ride those for quick 10 to 20 X's. Easier said than done. And then you can come back in if you don't have a huge amount of income. So look at solid coins with low market caps that you can ride for 10 to 20, 30 X's, and then you can rotate them into other plays. So again, just in the gaming space right now, I'm not telling you guys to buy any of these. You have to go and do your research, make sure the team's good, make sure the utility's good, make sure there's a lot of hype behind them. But just look at the smaller market caps. GameSwift, for example, 18 million, this one 19, UFO 21. If you like those projects, that's when you start putting the $500 to $1,000 in. You ride those up to 5K or 10K or 15K if you want to be a little bit more riskier. And then you come back into these plays. Then you come back into your long-term plays, because holding these for 100x's just because you need to make it happen is a very risky game. Then you go under AI, you do the exact same thing again. You look at coins that you like. The problem with most of these coins is they're very, very risky. The potential is 100x, 200x, they're out there, but the other potential is lackluster. They go to zero, the project gets abandoned, and that's the game you're playing if you don't have huge amounts of money to invest, because you can't just invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum anymore. It simply doesn't work. It simply doesn't work in terms of the market cap. What you can do is a step 3 to step 4 on these kind of lessons is you can understand dumb money versus smart money. And I was smart with my entries, but I was very, very dumb with taking profits, etc., because it's so hard to make the right trades. Human behavior is driven by emotional impulses, this little thing up here, and you can't stop yourself from feeling the emotions. I felt so much emotions in the last bull run, on a good way, because we were going so up. I would check my portfolio in the Trust Wallet, my Trezor, and I would just see literally $1,000 days in profit, 10k days in profit. The problem was it was paper gains until I read it all the way down. But smart money, they recognize them. The big players out there, they don't let this dictate their strategy. They're very, very, they have the journey, they have the destination, and everything's foolproof. Because a lot of people, they see their altcoin sucks, 100% of them are scams, and they sell, and then they see a little pump, and then they see a little downtrend, and then they sell again. They're constantly just losing money. And then they start buying, and we're going to see this at the end of 2024, and probably at the end of 2025, and we've already seen this so much, and then again they're selling for losses. You need to do the exact opposite. It's so easier said than done, but if you can just control this and look at the coins you're interested in, you might look at some of these, you might look at some of these, and you can understand, hey, this is a good bet, I believe in this project for the 10x to 20x to 30x's to get back in the main place. So for example, you did your fundamental research, your checklist, and you're accumulating this quality altcoin. If we get a nice pre-pump, sell 10%, buy back in again when it drops, and then you buy back in, you start heavily taking profits. And this just pretty much follows Bitcoin, Ethereum's chart in the last bull run, pretty much every single altcoin, Gala Games especially. That was probably the only coin I got good in terms of taking profits, but then I put it into another project and it fucking died. That's the problem. So all you're doing is just controlling this, and you're just taking profits out. But that just comes to a goal and a plan. And if you don't have a plan, doesn't matter. This could go a million X. You're probably still never going to take profits, because you'll be like, oh, well, I'm already at this amount of money. I can just do an extra 2x. I've already 100x. Just one more 2x. And chances are that'll be the last thing you remember, and you'll ride it all the way down, because you can hit your goal with cryptocurrency. You don't have to do the grind that I did in ECON or your business. You can if you want, and I would really recommend that you start something that you're passionate about. That's why I started this YouTube channel a while ago, and it makes me a fuck ton of money. But you have to decide what that is for you. If you just want to stay at your job, that's fine. But if you don't know your goals and you don't know your journey, how are you supposed to get to that destination? Because you need a map, or you're just gambling. You can get lucky, but why not map it out so it's foolproof? It's so important. A lot of people that I speak to just don't have plans for their altcoins. They've got 30, 40, 50k in. They've got 50, 60 random fucking coins with $1,000 here, $500 here, 10k in this one. But they're just holding. They just don't understand. When I ask them, hey, when are you selling? They're like, I don't really know. I need to map that out. I'm like, bro, map it up right now, because this is serious shit we're playing with, bro. Okay, goodbye.